When you're dealing with someone who you know through text only texts you and is only kind, it is only sweet, love bombing you, when they want something, this is a sign that this person is wasting your time. And this is a sign that you can see in a text message. So if this person generally ignores you, doesn't want to get to know you, takes hours or days to text you back, doesn't ask you questions, doesn't answer your questions, but you see that you're being love bombed and lured in with some fancy talk, and what happens next when you respond is the good old, this is what I want from you, you have to see that as a pattern and you have to see that as a red flag. And again, it's not easy to see red flags when you have been abandoned, when you have been abused by someone who has high narcissistic traits, because you doubt yourself, right? So it's important. If you grow up with nothing but red flags in your life, like there are no boundaries in your childhood, there was no respect in your childhood, right? People were just yelling at each other, ignoring one another, stonewalling one another, lots of projection and lots of rage, lots of anger. No, it's not going to be so easy for you to see that this love bombing, which feels so good, even in a text, is luring you down an empty alleyway. You're being used in this situation. So it takes a lot of courage to see that and to cut it off. I myself, when I think back to what I tolerated, it's like I shake in my head. Like, what did I put up with? Like, what? It just boggles my mind. And I have nothing but empathy and compassion for that young woman who thought that's all she was worthy of. And I know that lots of my clients and lots of the people that come through my Facebook group and who take my coaching programs, this is their reality too. What we put up with is ridiculous, ridiculous. And this goes for men and it goes for women. What we tolerate inside of relationships is unacceptable. And so much of it can be traced back to never feeling like we had any worth and to feeling like, well, breadcrumbs are better than the whole meal. At least I got something, you know. He's a narcissist, but at least he's my narcissist. At least I'm not alone for Christmas. At least I got somebody by my side. Really? Really? You know, remember that what you believe that you are worthy of is what you will receive. And so that goes down to belief, and a belief can be changed. And so it's worth questioning what we believe about relationships and what we believe about our worth and what we believe about what we should be putting up with. And your life will not change until you start questioning those beliefs. Because I can tell you that I've come out the other side of it. It wasn't easy to confront that wounded person inside of me that put up with so much and required so little and gave so much, right? It wasn't easy to face. I mean, it was like I was white knuckling it, right? Like, what do you mean I have to let this go? It's all I've ever known. It's all I've ever known. You know, but when you're starving, that breadcrumb looks really, really good, right? And then someone like me comes along and says, if that's all you eat, that's all you accept. And there's so much more. You have to have faith in something unseen, right? You have to believe that you could have more and that you're worth more. And that takes a lot of courage. So please don't ignore that red flag if you believe you see a pattern of someone ignoring you, blowing you off, and all of a sudden they text you when they need something. Please don't ignore that red sign. So the other sign that this relationship is going nowhere is that you only receive like yes or no answers, right? So you're dealing with someone who doesn't invest in the conversation. You're dealing with someone who is very passive, right? And not that yes or no is passive aggressive, but it kind of is, right? So if I ask you, do you have plans this weekend? And you write yes. What the hell does that mean? Okay, you've got plans this weekend, but we're trying to date, I think. And we're trying to get this relationship off the ground, so I think. And I think you are too, because you do text me. Like, it's so confusing. Like, if you're not interested, then say so. I'd rather be ghosted than to have someone send me yes or no text messages because it's so confusing. So in a way, it is kind of passive aggressive, right? And so if someone only answers your questions with yes or no, did you sleep well? Yes. Did you sleep well? No. And there's no follow through. For instance, did you sleep well? No, not really. I really didn't sleep well. My neighbors have a dog. I was up all night. I had a little bit of caffeine, a little bit too late. How about you, right? So they don't answer the question outside of yes or no, and they don't follow up the question with an inquiring question about you and how you did. This is a pure indicator that this person isn't that interested and not into really wanting to get to know you. Again, does this make this person a narcissist? Could make them highly immature, right? Not ready. The person's got a bunch of feelers out there. Personally, I think there are way too many options out there today for lots of us, and so it can be difficult, right? But it's our job to really vet these people. So, again, we have 6 kids. I've seen my kids go through this. One of my children is going through this right now, and it breaks my heart. That every time she starts texting someone, she's texting someone with the intention of seeing where it's going to go. But this person that she texts tends to be someone who doesn't text back. And so then the answer is, how long are you going to tolerate this person just giving you one-word answers, not being inquisitive, showing absolutely zero interest? How long are you going to tolerate that? So this is going to come back to me saying, I don't care how long I've been alone. I don't care, how lonely I am. I don't care. I'm not putting up with this. I always say you can be miserable all by yourself. That was a huge aha moment for me, right? When I realized that I was a codependent / love addict in my situation, I realized wow, I would rather be miserable and alone than miserable because someone's making me miserable. Because at least if I'm the source of my own misery, I have complete control over that. I can work on myself. I can invest in myself, right? I could read books. I can journal. I can meditate. I can go walk in nature. I can go to the beach. I can go hang out. I could wake up when I want, go to bed when I want, eat what I want, learn about what I want. I'm not answering to anybody. So when I realized, Lisa, let this go. You're so much better off being alone than tolerating this. It was a huge turning point in my life. And so if you are dealing with someone that only gives you yes or no answers, that's a sign this person's not invested, and a sign that you need to really see that as a red flag. So the next thing is that, I love this one. It's so common today. You know what I'm going to say, I'm sure. When you are dealing with someone who texts you intimate pictures of body parts, you don't know this person. This person isn't interested in you, or they're asking you to send them intimate body pics, right? So right away, it's about what you look like. It's very sexual. Right away, it's very flirty. This person doesn't want to get to know you. Not that way. Only a certain way, right? And like I said, if you're somebody who is hungry for attention and hungry for love, how many of us look for love in all the wrong places, especially women? How many of us settle for sexual relationships versus really vulnerable and intimate, committed relationships? How many of us do that? We don't have to. We really don't have to. But again, when we think about growing up starved for love, growing up starved for affection, and then all of a sudden someone says to us, here's a breadcrumb, it's hard to pass that breadcrumb up, right? We want a committed relationship. We don't want to be just seen for our body. We don't want to be in a relationship with someone purely for sex. We want something more. We want the whole package. But it's really difficult when someone is telling us that we're beautiful and someone's telling us that, we're the greatest thing that they've ever known. We're so different, blah, blah, blah. All the things that a highly narcissistic chameleon would say to someone. It's really hard sometimes to not believe it. Even though our instincts oh, this isn't good, this guy's moving too fast, or this girl is moving too fast, or whatever, it's really hard to say, no, I don't want that, I want something more. But if you notice that you start texting someone, and right away it's about the way that you look, or it's about the way that he looks, or vice versa, and it gets really, really crazy, crazy sexual right away, this is a sign that this person is not interested in getting to know you. This is a sign that this person wants to get to know you in a sexual way, or this is someone who may not have any interest in meeting you, but is enjoying what the gratification that they're receiving through the manipulation of the words in a text message and getting you to play along, right? It's sort of like a catfish type thing. So the person has no intentions of meeting you. They may not even be the person that you think they are based on their profile. Could be a fake picture too. Could be a fake profile even. They could be in another state, another country, but they're just enjoying being able to get you to drop your guard, to send them pics or to be vulnerable with them. So it's a very self-serving, one-sided relationship. So just be careful, because this is an indicator, a red flag, that you're dealing with someone who is not interested in you. And I would say this is an indicator that you're dealing with someone with very high narcissistic traits. Don't forget to check out the next video, and you can go to my website and take the codependency quiz.